So thank you everyone for joining us. This is a webinar on our housing application process and some financial questions, and we're going to answer some financial questions you may have. Um, Again, if you have a question that's outside of what I've gone over in the webinar, feel free to drop a question in the Q&A. So the agenda, we're going to go over the benefits of living on campus, housing amenities, the housing application process, and our frequently asked questions. And then at the very end, we'll have our contact information if you want to reach us after this webinar. We do close at 5 p.m., so we might not be able to answer your question today. But if you have a question, after hours, you can always send us an email or give us a call tomorrow morning. We'll be here at 8 a.m. So studies show that living on campus increases the likelihood that students will achieve a higher rate of academic success. Living on campus, students can access leadership opportunities, build meaningful connections, live in a safe environment, and quickly get to class, on-campus events, and more. For students that are going to be living in the South Village, so this living area is for students that are under 21 or will not be 21 within the academic year. You can expect your bedrooms to be furnished. There's going to be community showers and restrooms on your floor. We also have laundry rooms on every first floor of every tower. We have study and community lounges. We have the wellness zone, which is a gym. Frequently, we do have students that use this. If you're trying to get swole this August, we have a gym just for you. We have the Village Commons, which is the dining hall, the Village Market which is a convenience store. So at the convenience store, they carry stuff like some Advil and any basic necessities that you might need, a toothbrush. If you forget it, you can buy it there if you need it in a pinch. Um, we also provide a learning center that you can access, the mail room, and living learning communities. Some amenities that we have here are the study rooms, meditation rooms, spin cycle rooms, and community lounges, and more. For the university apartments, which includes the phase 1, phase 2, and GEA, so phase 1, phase 2 is only for students who will be 21 within the academic year or are over 21. The Golden Eagle apartments are only for grad students, so only grad students are able to apply for GEA. And what you can expect in these living areas are a furnished bedroom, a kitchen, bathrooms, all the utilities are included, laundry rooms, Wi-Fi, TV and movie streaming services. For the TV and movie streaming services and the Wi-Fi, this is also included for those living in South Village. So don't worry, you will have Wi-Fi as well. Access to all first floor amenities offered in South Village. So the gym, if you don't live in South Village, but you live in our community, you can still access the gym. Same with the learning center. And in the apartments, we also have living learning communities that you can be a part of. And so who's it for? As I said before, the apartments are for students who are 21, who will be 21 within the academic year or 21 over. And for the Golden Eagle apartments, it's only for graduate students. So we'll be going over the housing application process. So the housing application process allows students the opportunity to apply for housing for the upcoming academic year. So some important dates to go over. Some of these we've already passed, but something that's going to be coming up is room selection. The room selection will only be for returning students. So if you are a new student, room selection will not be available to you. However, we will have a roommate wizard. So within the roommate wizard, you'll have the opportunity to select a roommate that you might have some common interest, so you can drop them a message and maybe build a friendship, share Instagram if you'd like. It's totally up to you, but you can find people that have similar living styles as you. The July 1st will be our priority deadline. So if you are intending to live on campus, we urge you and recommend that you apply by July 1st. July 15th, the fall deadline to apply will be for the OSD. So if you have an accommodation that is medical or something related, this will be your deadline to apply for that. And then if you decide you applied and you no longer want to, if you're no longer interested in staying on campus, our cancellation deadline is July 18th. August 19th through September 6th. This will be so August 6th, 19th through September 6th. This will be after everyone's already moved in. Let's say you're not happy with the roommate that you got, or you're struggling to meet a common ground with your roommate. There will be a room change process, and you can apply, and we can review, what is your reason for wanting to move rooms, and then we'll go ahead and if you're approved, we'll send you an email with information on the room change process. And then lastly, September 6th, very important date, will be the first payment, which is the fall payment deadline. So we ask that all students complete their payment by September 6th or create a payment plan. So we do have payment plans for charges posted on your account. If you can't pay the entire amount by September 6th, you will have the opportunity to do a payment plan, but you have to do it before September 6th. Okay. A lot of students, we notice that they are interested in a payment plan, but they do it late, so they end up getting a late charge fee of $20 because they didn't do their payment plan by September 6th. So just an FYI. So before you apply for housing, make sure you're in good academic standing, same judicial and financial standing. A lot of you are new students, so you probably um, don't need to worry about that. But if you are a returning student and you have some holds on your account, you do need to clear those up before you're able to apply for housing. Um, for those new students, if you haven't yet paid your ECD of $100, um, let's say you pay it today and you are interested in going to calstatela, it does take about 1 to 2 weeks before it's processed. We do get students saying, "Hey, I paid my ECD today. I can't access my application." Well, that's because it takes 1 to 2 weeks to process, and then once that's complete, you're able to log into the housing portal and complete an application. Um, Definitely review the different living learning communities you want to join. So we do have some communities such as the Halisi floor, the Latinx floor, or now known as the Nuestra Casa floor. We also have the gender inclusive floor. So some students that identify as the LGBTQ plus community, they have the opportunity to live in the GIH living learning community and so on. So go ahead and go to our website. You can check out our living learning communities and what we offer. And yeah, we're excited to have you join one of these communities if it interests you. Determine your preferred room type. So do you want a double or a triple? A double room is so two people per bedroom. A triple room is 3 people per bedroom. A common question we get is, can I get a single bedroom? Right now, we are not offering single bedrooms to any student unless they are grad students. So only grad students are able to apply for a single. If if you want a single and you're trying to get one, unfortunately, we are not offering this at this time. If you want a specific person as a roommate or housemate, confirm their interest, make sure both your preferred room type matches on your make sure both your preferred room type matches on your application. If you do not have a specific roommate in mind, you have a chance to search for them through the roommate wizard. So again, through the roommate wizard, you do get to filter with the questions that are posted on there. One common one that students like to filter with is, you know, what's your views on drinking alcohol? So for some students that don't drink alcohol at all, definitely filter with students that, that don't drink alcohol just like you, so that when you when you search for them in the roommate wizard, you're being paired with people that have similar interests as you. Make sure you review your financial aid and budget to choose the best payment plan. Oftentimes, students will apply for housing and then they get a big charge on their account and they don't know how to pay for it. So make sure you have a plan on how, to cover your costs for housing. Um, Reach out to the one-stop office, the financial aid office, inquire about loans if you're planning to go the loans route, and then see if you have leftover financial aid after the financial aid has been applied for classes. If there is money left over after all your classes have been paid for, that money can be used to go towards your housing balance. If you require a reasonable housing accommodation, you will need to register and provide documentation by a licensed professional to the OSD office or the Office of Students with Disabilities. And the deadline is July 15th. If you want to screenshot this, you can see the email of the OSD office if you have any other questions. But again, if you do have a accommodation that is medical, feel free to submit a um, OSD application no later than July 15th. And at the very end of your housing application, you're going to be asked for a $40 housing application fee. Please make the payment within the application. Oftentimes we have students that pay outside of the application. They'll go on Get, they'll see the housing payment of $40 and they'll make the payment, and then they feel that, that was my payment, where is my room? So unfortunately, we won't know that you applied for housing just by making the $40 payment. So please, please, please make sure you pay the $40 within the application. If you made a mistake and you paid it outside, go ahead and complete your application. And once you get to the payment portion, we can go ahead and manually add it to your application. And if you want to screenshot this page, this shows you all the meal plans offered to our living communities. The All Access 5 offers unlimited swipes Monday through Friday, and the All Access 7 offers unlimited swipes all 7 days. Block plans have limited amount of swipes. Block plans have limited amount of swipes per semester. So let's say you get the block 100. That will be 100 meals per semester. So in the fall, you'll get 100. If you don't, and in the spring, you're going to get another 100. As far as the declining balance, this money can be used in the market. So depending on your payment on your meal plan, some of them get $50, some get 100, and you can use this to buy soda, chips. Again, back to like the Advil, you can buy Advil if you want. There's also a Starbucks if you want to get Starbucks, and you can use your declining balance towards that. Parking for housing. Students living on campus who wish to bring a vehicle must purchase a resident parking permit. Resident parking permits are only valid in Lot 5 and Paseo Rancho Castilla on the east side of Mariendale Avenue to the Hellman Bridge. Residential permits are not valid in student lots. So students that get a resident permit, you cannot use it in any other lot on campus. You can only park in the resident parking spaces, which is lot 5 and those spaces along Paseo Rancho Castilla on the east side. 30-day permits are available for $66 per 30-day period. I'm not sure if this charge is going to be updated for fall, but just be wary that it may increase a little bit. But that is about the ballpark that the charge is for 30-day parking permits. And resident parking permits can be found on the parking page under housing resident. As far as the rates, so if you want to check with their rates, you can go to this link and you can visit their rates page. In order to buy a parking permit, you first have to go to your My Calstela account and you'll see a purchase permit. Unfortunately, you might not see the option to buy a permit yet. We do have to input a code to all students, and that's not something we've done yet. So you probably won't see that option until sometime in July. So how to apply for housing? If you want to follow along with us, you can go ahead and scan the QR code. You can do it on your phone or tablet, or if you want to do it on your laptop on another screen, you can go ahead and go to our Calstela housing page. Just Google Calstela housing, and at the top bar in the gray, you'll see housing portal. I'll give you all a couple of minutes to navigate that. I'll go through the Q&A. Maybe there's some frequently asked questions. So one student asked, do we pay for room fees all at once up front, or is this split by semester? I'm a student over 21. Do we pay fall and spring together at once, or is it split by semester? To answer your question, this is split by semester. So the rate you see on our website, this is for the entire academic year. If you want the semester rate, you can go ahead and divide it by 2, and that'll be your semester rate. Some things to consider, though, there is an additional fee for programming, and there's also a security deposit. So if there's any damages that happen within the semester, we will hold your security deposit. If no damages are made, then we'll go ahead and give you that refund. One student asked, during the application, it asks me if to make 2 selections for the room, as far as double and triple. Yes, so within the application, we do want students to select a second option in the event that we can't offer you your first option. So let's say you pick a triple, and because of our high interest, you aren't able to get a triple, then we're going to offer you a double. And that's a disclaimer. Um, no room is guaranteed. We do have very limited spaces in triples, so if you are interested in triples, definitely apply as soon as possible. Those do fill up very fast. How much is the security deposit? The security deposit is $100. Will we get our $40 back if we are not accepted to housing? So right now we do have plenty of space available. So your $40 will be non-refundable. If in the event that there is a wait list and you do not get a space, then there is a possibility that you would be refunded for the $40. But again, we are not at capacity right now and there is no wait list. So once you get to the housing portal, you want to go ahead and select the Calstela student login. So under the admin use, you're going to go down and you will see the student login button. Once you select this, you're going to be prompted the Calstela main login page. So go ahead and log in. And then after, you should be taken directly to the housing portal. And once there, you want to select the apply here button. So this is for the academic year. A lot of you do not qualify for the summer application, so please select the apply here button. On the top bar, you will also see the housing application 24-25, and you may also select this. So please be careful and make sure you read every single page carefully. So when you're engaging with the application, this is a contract, a lot like a housing lease. So once you're contracted and it's past our deadline, which was July 18, you are bound by that contract, and it can be difficult to break that contract if you don't have a good reason. So some of our reasons would be like financial hardship or military service, something medical that happened that was not expected, those would be good reasons to break your contract. But other than that, after the deadline of July 18th, you are bound by the contract. Okay. So in the housing portal, you will be asked some questions about emergency contacts and missing person contact. Please be sure to fill this out. Sometimes students we may need to reach out to a guardian if there is an emergency. So this really helps us out to make sure we contact somebody. The student profile, this is where you get asked questions about your preferences about living styles. So there you'll get do you drink frequently? Do you ever smoke? Or what are your views on smoking and stuff like that? Do you prefer to live or sleep later at night, wake up early? Just a lot of those types of questions. Unfortunately, you will not be able to see these questions until the roommate wizard opens. So once the roommate wizard opens, that's when you're going to see these questions. And we really want you to be as honest as possible, because this does help us. Let's say you don't find a roommate within the roommate wizard, our system is going to match you with the best possible person next, and the algorithm does take into account all these questions that you all answer. So just try to be as truthful as possible. You will also get questions about community preferences. As I mentioned before, we have the Halisi floor, the Nuestra Casa floor. We also have other interest communities like Do Not Disturb and the STEM floor. So if you are interested in those, feel free to select one of them. You can select up to 3 preferences, I believe, if not 2, and then we'll go ahead and take those into account. These are unique communities that engage students who share similar interests and or lifestyles. Here you will have an opportunity to read through each community's description to see if any might be a good fit. So you can read all this within the application, or you can also see that on our website. So these programs are pro these programs center living arrangements around commonality and specific interests. These communities require an application and or enrollment in a class or a university program. So again, this goes back to the Halisi Nuestra Casa. There is a essay question since these are considered special interest communities. So they're not as easy to be a part of. But if you provide a good essay, we'll go ahead and review your response, and then our residence life coordinators will go ahead and approve or deny those depending on your answers. And then you will see the room preferences page, and this is where you'll be able to select your first preference. So number 1, this will be a double or a triple, and then your second preference, again, a double or triple. Number 1 is going to be the one that you desire the most. Um, at sometime in July, if we aren't able to offer you what you asked for, we'll go ahead and send you an email, let you know that we weren't able to place you with uh, with your first preference. Oftentimes also when we do the roommate wizard and there is a question that says, do you prefer your roommate or do you prefer the room type? So by room type, this is what it's referring to, your room preference. If you prefer your roommate and your roommate wants to live in a double and we put you in a double, but you really want a triple, that's where that question becomes really important if you want us to consider your roommate or your room preference. And just to go over again, July 15th will be the housing accommodation deadline. If you require an accommodation, it is July 15th. Winter break housing. So residents with an active housing agreement for the academic year 24-25, winter intercession is included in your license agreement. For students who are approved to cancel their housing agreement for spring, they must check out of university housing by 2 p.m. on the last day of the fall final exams. So the final day to move out are Saturday, December 14th. For those students who are international, I don't know if we have any internationals in the chat, international students, but oftentimes those students only stay for one semester and that's approved by the university and they only stay for the fall. These students must make sure that they have their flights ready to go by December 14th, no later. You have to move out by that day. So if you're going to book your flight, book it before then or the date for December 14th to depart. If you're planning to go ahead and travel around the US, you still have to be out by December 14th. And again, winter intersession is included in your license agreement, so there is no additional charge for this session. Meal plan options will be based on your chosen community, first preference listed. So meal plans are required for all residents and transfers. So any student that applies after February 6, 2023 is required to have a meal plan that regardless of your living area. So if you live in South Village or the apartments and you're applying to the university after February 6, 2023, you are required to have a meal plan. So in the application itself, we will have a student guide and we recommend that you all view it and go over the student guide. It does list all the things that is expected of a resident, so be sure to read that. You will also see our license agreement, which is the contract. So if you would like to read the contract, you may download it and read it. Again, this is a contract. It is important that you carefully read and understand the terms of this agreement before signing at the end. You will also see a page on GradGuard. GradGuard is an insurance company that we've partnered with. This is third party, so it's not run by us. However, we do recommend that you do get GradGuard as, for example, let's say there's a fire in your bedroom for whatever reason. Maybe you're cooking. I don't know. Students be cooking nowadays. You do get the opportunity to get a insurance, and let's say all your items get damaged, you're able to claim that with GradGuard, and they can work with you on getting a replacement for the items that you've lost. If you decide maybe this is something you want to think about, you can select to apply for it later, and it will give you an option to decline it, and then they can email you if you're interested later. There will be a question on the meningococcal B info form because students live with other students in close quarters. We do recommend that you get this vaccine. It is not required, but we do recommend it. As far as COVID-19, right now, things are okay, but if for if for instance we do get an outbreak again and we hopefully don't have to go into quarantine again, but if that does happen, you do have to follow all mandates as set forth by the university and the state. So just a disclaimer. So how to apply for housing, payment deadlines. These are the payment deadlines for each semester. So September 6th will be the fall deadline and February 7th will be the spring deadline. So please keep those in mind, put it on your calendar. Make sure that these are at the top of your list. And to make a payment so we won't post charges until sometime in July. And at that point, you can check your Get account and go ahead and make your first payment if you want, or if you want to be on a payment plan and can pay some of it up front, then make that payment, make the payment plan, and then you can see your charges on Get. And then once that's all posted, we'll go ahead and send you an email just letting you know that your charges are posted on Get. And then lastly, back to the payment of $40, you're going to see a checkout cart, and go ahead and press pay now. You will be redirected to the transact page on Get, and you will make your $40 payment. Once that's over, you do have to press the OK button or the move on to the next step. That way you can be redirected back to the application. Once redirected back to the application, you're going to see the Almost There page. On the Almost There page, you will have to select the complete application. If you do not select the complete application button, your application is not considered complete until you select that button. So it's really important that you do that. In my system, I do have a report that if you do not press this button, you're not considered complete. So please be sure to do that. That way I can reserve a space for you. And then once you reach to the completed page, you're going to see this green bar with, which is the status update or a summary of your selection. There you will see, what your first preference for room is, what meal plan you selected, and you'll also see deadlines that are up and coming. So once you reach this page, that means you are done. And then, so once you see Eddie and the Golden Eagle, you're all set. Some important reminders: students are highly encouraged to apply early. Again, July 1st is our priority deadline, and we are filling up rather quickly. The participation in housing application process will be on a first come, first served basis. Housing placement is not guaranteed. Students who miss application deadlines may be placed on a wait list. Being mindful of all the deadlines, read and understand the student housing license agreement, which is the contract, before signing it. So make sure you read that. Understand the policies regarding housing cancellations and meal plan charges. We do require a 30-day advance notice, or July 18th is our deadline. So if you want to mark July 18th, if you're still unsure about, housing, but you did apply, July 18th is your deadline. And you can contact housing with any questions. If you do have one and you're stuck during the application, go ahead and give us an email or a call, and we'll go ahead and answer your question. Some FAQs. Can I bring my pet eagle? No, animals other than fish are allowed in the residence halls and apartments. For students with disabilities seeking approval for a service animal or assistance animal, please contact the Office for Students with Disabilities. Again, the deadline is July 15th. If you do have an ESA that you want to live with. So again, no pet eagles in housing. Can I have my own room? Single rooms are currently not being offered to students except for graduate students. I'm a transfer student. Where would I live? So all students under 21 are required to live in South Village. So if you will not be 21 within the academic year, you will be in South Village. Students over 21 will live in the phase 1 and phase 2 apartments, and students who will be 21 within the academic year. So let's say your birth date is not till you're 20 right now, and your birth date is in November, then you do qualify for the apartments because you will be 21 within the academic year. What if I want to live with people I know? We do have the roommate wizard that is going to go live, and you're going to have the opportunity to select them in the roommate wizard. I would say make sure you collect their CIN and their full legal name, as this will be required in the roommate wizard process. And that wraps us up. This is our contact us page. If you want to reach us via phone, this is our phone number. If you want to take a screenshot, if you want to email us, we're at askhousing@calstatela.edu. And if you do have if you want to get more information about our application process, you can always see that on our website. And go ahead and follow us on social. We do post a lot of updates on our socials, so be on the lookout for that. So after this, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, the Q&As. Go go ahead and ask your questions in the Q&A box. I will be monitoring the questions and answer any questions live if there's some that are being asked frequently. How do I change my meal plan after the application has been submitted? This was a question that was coming up a lot, so we did modify our application process. So you can go in there today and go back into your application and change it, and that will change your selection. If I will transfer next year in fall, when should I apply for housing? So I guess if I understand the question correctly, if you're going to be a student in the spring and not the fall, um, at CalSolay, then you will have the opportunity to apply in November. So the application for spring goes live in November. Can we change our roommates? So if you've already gone through the roommate wizard, which will happen in the future. Sorry, I don't understand that one. But let's say you pick a roommate and you decide that maybe they're not a good fit for you. You can go ahead and send us an email and we can remove you two from the group. But overall, yeah, if you do have a concern, let's say you guys have a falling out and you no longer want to be a roommate together, then we can remove you from the roommate group that you create within the roommate wizard. So Roommate Wizard will be part of the application process. This will not open until sometime in June. We'll go ahead and send you all an email when that goes live. But so after the status page that I showed you previously, it will allow you to press save and continue, and that'll open a new process, which is the Roommate Wizard, and you'll get more questions to answer, and then you'll be able to select your own roommate. I will be a student next year fall. When should I start applying for housing? So if you're going to be a student in 25-26, academic year 25-26, then we recommend that you apply by May. Or for the students living in the apartments, we do not have so over 21 living in the apartments, we do not have co-ed apartments. They are all gender specific. In the South Village, we do have co-ed floors. So if you would like to be mixed gender, you could live on that floor. There are also gender specific floors. So if you're not comfortable with living with the opposite gender, then you can choose a floor that's specifically male or female. Can I access the Roommate Wizard after I've applied? Yes, the Roommate Wizard, again, is a separate piece. We do ask that you complete your application beforehand, or else you won't be able to access the Roommate Wizard. So make sure you complete your application. We'll send you an email to go back into your housing portal and then access the Roommate Wizard. We'll go ahead and be very communicative about that. But I would say go ahead and secure your space and submit your application. That way, we have you on our list and is one less thing you have to worry about. Again, we recommend that you complete your application before the Roommate Wizard starts. Do you have information on your emergency housing program? So I do work closely with the Dean of Students about emergency housing. So in the event that, let's say, you suddenly become unhoused and or your home burned down, something, that was unexpected, sudden, you can reach out to the Dean of Students. There is a process form that you can submit. They will go ahead and meet with you, and if you do qualify and are eligible for emergency housing, they will let you know. Typically, this program is only for 14 days, so just be mindful of that. One thing that we strongly recommend students do is to check their emails sent to their campus email address. We do send lots of emails about, again, Roommate Wizard, payment deadlines. That's our main way of communicating with our students. So definitely be on top of your emails because, yeah, that's where we mostly communicate. So please check that. This webinar will be ready for you to view again in about 2 weeks. We do have to edit and modify, add some closed captioning. So I apologize for, for the long delay, but it does take us about 1 to 2 weeks before we post. Can you briefly explain the learning communities and floors mentioned before? Um, so yeah, just briefly, we do have different learning communities. Again, we have the STEM floor, we have the do not disturb floor, which is for people that would rather prefer a quiet area. Um, we do have the gender inclusive floor for those that identify as LGBTQ plus people. Um, so there are many different communities. I'd love to go into all of them, but you can see those on our website and in the application itself. And we do add some description so that you can read it and get more information on what that's all about. How much is the cost per month for graduate student if he lives with roommates, with 3 roommates? So that will for a graduate student, they will more than likely live in the apartments. Our rates are posted on our website, and you can see those rates today. Go ahead and navigate to the phase 1, phase 2 apartments, and there you will see the 3-person bedrooms. In GEA, I do not have any 3-person bedrooms, therefore your only option would be the phase 1, phase 2 apartments, and the cost per month will be dependent on your payment plan. So depending how much you can pay up front or not pay up front, or if your financial aid is covering some of it, this will vary greatly depending on your available funds and how much you can pay in advance. How are payment plans facilitated? Do I have to do that in paper form or can it be done online? So the payment plans will be posted on our housing portal. Um, Let me go ahead and navigate to that actually. So this is our housing portal. We'll go ahead and log in. I am a admin user, so my bar up here will be blue. Yours will not be blue. And you can go to the forms. And here you will see the payment plan posted. I don't believe that, so the payment plan is here. I don't believe that it's been updated yet, but we are working on it. And once it becomes live, you'll be able to go ahead and submit your payment plan. Right now, you cannot submit a payment plan because you haven't been charged yet. So please wait till charges are posted in July. And at that point, you can create a payment plan. In the future, this is where you can find forms on how to change your meal plan if you want to increase it, how to cancel your housing application if you no longer are interested in staying on campus. Um, if you want us to be able to release information to your parents, be sure to submit the FERPA form, or else we will not release any information to parents. Yeah, that is our housing portal. Can you repeat what we do if we want to be in a specific gender floor? In the application, we're going to ask a specific question. Do you want to be in a co-ed floor or do you want to be in the gender specific floor? And at that point, you can, select your option. That will be live in the application, so be sure to select that. What is GEA? GEA is the Golden Eagle Apartments, and this is only for grad students. Do I have to fill out all those forms? No, you do not have to fill out all these forms. If you are under 18 though, before the start of the, move-in, that will be the only form that you do need to fill out. Other than that, you do not need to fill out those forms. It's completely optional, unless you would like to either cancel, change a meal plan, or make a payment plan. Will I qualify for housing if I'm doing summer bridge program? So unfortunately, you do not qualify for summer housing. However, you will qualify for fall housing. As far as the summer bridge program, um, I believe sometimes those students stay on campus and you would have to reach out to the coordinator who's in charge of that program. But other than that, you would not qualify to live on campus since we require students to have been a full-time student in the spring of 2024 and a student in the fall 2024. So you would not qualify. Will the bedroom size be this? Will the bedroom size be the same if it is 2 or 3 beds in it? Great question. So in the South Village, the 3 bedrooms, so the South Village for freshmen and those that are going to be under 21, those rooms are a little bit bigger. However, in the apartments, it is not bigger, and the third bed is usually a bunk bed. In the South Village, they're all spread out on the same, plane. There is no bunk beds, but in the phases, there is bunk beds. I paid my $40 outside of the application, um, but I haven't done the application itself. So in this case, you do not need to pay your $40 again, but when you get to the payment piece, make sure you email or call us with preferably email, send us a receipt that you paid your $40, and we'll go ahead and add it to your application. So if you're 21 and want to live in a 3 bedroom, there is no way you can escape a bunk bed. That is correct. You cannot escape a bunk bed if you're over 21 and live in the apartments. So therefore, I recommend that you apply for a double, which is 2 beds in a room. Those are side by side and not bunk beds. Can you bring whatever furniture you want? Ooh, this is a tough one. So no, you cannot bring your furniture. All the apartments are fully furnished. Um, we do not recommend that you bring your stuff because if you bring your own desk, etc., we're not going to remove the desk that's inside your room. So we do not recommend that you bring your own furniture. But if you have like a, lounge chair for the park or something like that, that is totally acceptable. But yeah, definitely a no on the furniture. For orientation, do we have to spend the night over at Cal Soleil? No, I believe this is optional and it is a application program, and this is not required for students to do unless otherwise told by the NSFE, but I don't think it's required. When do we know if we will get accepted? If you submit an application and it's already complete, you have been accepted and we can confirm a bed space for you. I do have a bed space for everyone who's applied up until today. So if you've applied already, you have a bed space, please do not worry. We will send a confirmation email sometime in June, just letting you know, hey, you have a bed space, do not worry. So yeah. Is there a charging fee to visit the housing? I don't know what your question is exactly. Like if you want a tour, there is no charge. We'll do a free tour if you want to do that, and you can set that up with us. But other than that, I don't think I understand your question. For students who are attending Cal Soleil for the fall term, when should we apply for on-campus housing? Please apply as soon as possible. The deadline is July 1st. So if you want to be considered for on-campus housing for the fall, please apply by July 1st. Is there dishwashing machines in 21 plus? I believe there is dishwashers in the apartments. If somebody can correct me on that, but I do believe that there is one.
The dishwashers are only in the phase 2 apartments.
Thank you. So if you
Yep.
if you will be living in building 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then there is a dishwasher. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. If you have any questions after this webinar, go ahead and shoot us an email at askhousing@calsoleil.edu. We are closed for phone calls, so if you want to give us a call tomorrow at 8 a.m., we'll be more than happy to answer any questions. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we're excited to have you in the academic year fall. Thank you so much.